I'm running a little bit tardy here to my own show, so I appreciate everybody for hanging out here. Coming in early, coming in hot. Again, Monday here in the bunker. And I have a special friend to help me out with this show today, because I'm sure you all have seen the awesome thumbnail for this topic, and I just can't talk about this I can't talk enough about juicy old people just by myself. I have to bring in my old person expert and friend, Mr. Zez himself. How we
doing? I got the stuff, baby. I got the stuff. Bring it on. I was out there. I thugged some old people. I went into the retirement village. The old lady had it coming, but I got the camcorder. How you doing, Steve?
Absolutely wonderful. Let me turn down the jazz a little sec, since we've got a guest here. I want to have a little jazz, just not overpowering my friend. And yeah, I'm super excited to talk about this stuff, because this is the final maybe retro hunting frontier here, and I'm probably going to blow everything wide open by just talking about it, but that's okay.
So you're in the wild, is that what you're saying? You're out in the frontiers, and I
think there's still something out there.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what it is I'm even discussing. But before we do that, please, everybody, if you could, do us a favor, hit the like button so everybody knows that it's the wonderful time for a new fun week here in the bunker. Please.
You likey, long time.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we're going to go. And so we're going to do some shout outs here in a second. But yeah, absolutely. Please hit the like button. We're going. We're live here. And let me zoom in so you're not just looking at Zez's face the whole time. There we go. We'll get a little bit of an even keel here. So yeah, I've got a lot of cool stuff to show you today. And just to give you kind of a little bit of an idea what I'm talking about before we get into the actual tech here, I wanted to tell you that this wasn't even something that was normally on my radar till probably like the last convention, till somebody asked me if this is where I got stuff from. And it's
what
like,
stuff?
no,
estate sales?
Yes. So it was basically, it was funny enough. All right, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory, right? Here you go. So, all right, guys, give us all I'm about to drop an awesome backstory for you, an awesome behind-the-scenes Steve story here, fresh off the presses. No one's heard this one. I've never told anybody this one, not quite fully. So drop the like.
While people are liking, people are coming into the chat. We love seeing it. So first of all, let's back up a moment here for all of the ones that aren't living in the wilderness of the United States. The concept of an estate sale.
Yes.
What is this? Let's break it down. What does it mean? Some old fart dies and he had a bunch of old shit, and now you can go buy it cheap. Is this where we're coming from?
I think you just defined it in 5 seconds. What's the hard point here, right?
Okay,
what's so difficult about that? I'm sorry.
Is this sold by the estate? Oh, not the estate, but I guess they have the executor of the will and the dude who's organizing it, and it comes in as a big auction. Because I'm not sure I've ever heard of such a thing in my region. I don't know, European people. It's an excellent point. My European people in the chat, I see a dude from Iceland there. I don't know who he is, but I recognize the name. Mr. Steinholm, I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name, bro. You got characters there. I don't know where they're coming from, Mr. Iceland. Dude. Oh, Denmark, but your name looks Icelandic. Anyway, he's got a B&O MX-7000. We're going to talk about that. However, my question for my European friends is, have you ever seen something like an estate sale? Some guy died and they're selling off his crap.
What do they do with it? Do they just absolve it? Where does it go if you don't do an estate sale, I guess? Anyway, here, so while some people get some chat going about that, there was, so the idea here is, yes, it's a company that does auctions, and I got advertisements for a local estate that was being auctioned, and a list of the items. And a little bit of the items, it was a lot of old tech stuff, of course, because that's what matters to me. And I mean, in hindsight, I didn't pay a lot. Some of the items went for more than I thought they would go for. And so that was a bit surprising. Other items had no interest, I guess, that I picked up for like $1. And so depending on like if this is close enough to you, I had to actually drive to go get this stuff also. So there's all these considerations. It was actually quite a while. It was almost an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Drive one way to pick it up and then drive back. And but yes, the premise here, right, is because I found other ones since then that are even better. It's like guys and his woman spend all their life collecting their stuff. They both apparently pass away within a certain amount of time of each other. It all clears the estate. Everything clears the estate after about a year or two. This generally happens. And then it's time to sell property off. And that's what all these auction companies are usually doing most of the time, is selling off estate stuff. So it all gets thrown into a lump sum. They take a portion of it, and they also charge me a buyer's portion usually between purchasing. So they get paid that way, the estate company or the auction company. But they're dealing in these people's stuff that they have. The family generally has already picked through and said, this is the stuff I want. If it is anything I don't want, or if it's just they don't, whatever. However that is decided. That's already been done. Okay? And then it ends up to the estate. And so that's how this one worked.
Okay. And is it like, okay, there's some points in the chat here. So first of all, Senley Deluxe, I prefer open house at the e-waste facility.
Don't we all?
But Faroe Islands, Steinholm's from Faroe Islands. Seldom do we have estate sales here. Everyone inherits stuff. Yeah. Is that what we're doing? Like, they can just be that, like, those people don't have anywhere to go, or they've just too much crap in the family, don't want it.
It's like, what if me and my wife what if I live to be, what if my family has no desire to have any of this stuff in my house, right? They pay them to come in. They come in, they itemize all this, and individually auction them itemized. And that's, so there's still an inheritance where it's getting to somebody, it's inherited by somebody or a trust or the entire family, and they just decide, well, this is the leftover stuff that we don't want. Instead of just paying somebody to trash it all, they're trying to auction it. So a lot of times it's, again, stuff that people have extra that a lot of family members don't want. Sometimes it includes their house even, or their cars. So I think that's the idea here. It's not like people haven't inherited it. I'm surprised but what happens if you inherited a bunch of junk that you didn't want? What would you do with it in Europe?
Sure. Who else is going to want a decades-old VCR video recorder? Probably not most people, so fair enough. They're going to try and they're not going to want to sit there. A lot of these people, if they have already got a lot of money, they're not going to want to sit there and individually sell off crap to they don't really care about it. It's like, okay, well, it's just part of the estate. It's all just money to us. It wasn't anything we paid into it because they're paying, like, it's like eBay. You're paying fees. So, sure. Okay.
So that's the idea.
And there's enough of them happening, like, around your area. You hear about them, or what's up with the number?
Well, I heard about the one, and then that's the one I went to, and then surprisingly enough, there's another one that's even closer. It's like an hour away, and it's got better stuff at it. It's coming up. It's ending in 3 days. And so there's a lot of stuff on my radar.
Person?
Yeah, there is online, both.
Okay.
No, you only bid online.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
you just went to pick up in person. Is that the deal?
Yeah, because a lot of this stuff's so big, CRTs, big equipment, nobody's really going to ship it. And
sure.
So that's the idea. You're skipping out. Okay.
So you found another one that's a little bit closer to you, and they've also got some good stuff.
Amazing
I can't imagine
stuff.
you're going to share the link, so don't share the link. We got to
no way.
Cards close to our
Absolutely not.
chest.
I'll tell you, like, one of them has, it's got like a couple of great small CRTs that I've definitely got my eye on. There's a bunch of old, but this was the same thing where this guy actually has some really good stuff. I have no idea what it is. It's a bunch of like old projectors, old typewriters, old radios. this was what this guy collected, apparently. Tons of tools, all kinds of stuff. And so I want to see how it goes. A lot of stuff has no bids on it, and there's like around a dollar or less right now. So we'll see. I don't know. It's run by a different company than the last auction company, so we'll see how that one goes. And I should have my GoPro back from my RMA, or my return. Finally, it's supposed to be here tomorrow or something, so I'll be able to film it, hopefully picking it up a little bit better. But I have been filming some of it at Twitter and stuff.
Sure.
But, yeah.
Okay, so you found this auction, you bid for it, you won a bunch of the stuff, and you had to drive your hour 40, you go pick it up, you brought it back here.
Yeah, and I'll tell you how much I spent on each item at the end of this thing, and we'll just go through it. So, it's a lot of stuff here,
Who we got in the chat? Let's say
I'll do some let's do some shout outs. Go back up to the top.
Likes,
Zero Sleep.
Watching.
Thank you for coming. Robert, thank you for being here. Stuffer, welcome back. The Legend One. The Legged One. Legend. Goodness, I can't write. All right. JS, welcome. Thank you, Daniel Gonzalez. And Senely Deluxe, welcome in. Joel, welcome. And some of you guys, Jagger, right? Yeah, Roll Pats, welcome in, everybody. Yes, Roll Pats. We had a good time on Twitter over the weekend. If you want to know really what's going on, I've been posting more to Twitter. We can get into a little bit more of that too. Ronnie S, welcome in. Senley Deluxe, I think I already said your name. Welcome in, and there we go. All right, so yeah, please everybody, if you're coming in. It's about 12 minutes in. That'd be good. Yeah. Go ahead, hit the like button for us. We're going to really get into start looking at some tech here from the estate sale. We've warmed it up, told you how we got here. And let's look at something. I'm trying to pick which one I want to pick first. I'm going to get something that is actually right behind me. And as I do this, we'll talk about it. I've been posting like crazy on Twitter. Okay?
Yeah.
And look at this, look at this beautiful thing. I mean,
this is
Zez,
nice.
I'm going to take you off the screen, let everybody just see this.
Please,
How
look at this.
Beautiful is this amazing, gorgeous boombox, huh?
Toshiba, beautiful.
Toshiba, absolutely fabulous, gorgeous piece of hardware. Now, this did not look like this at all. And that's why I would say, if you want to go back and check out pictures on the Twitter timeline, you could see it, but it didn't have, when I originally saw it in the advertisement, it had the tape deck front was actually off of it, and it was obviously like it had been dropped, and like but it was, nothing was broken on it. So that tape front was out. And then I saw the radio, and it was like really dirty. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to buy this. But I was buying all the other stuff. So I wound up, I got it for $9, right? $9. Now, again, it was in that shape. But I plugged it in when I got it. It had the power cable. And it did not have an antenna on it. It had no antenna. It was just a bent antennas right here. So what I ultimately got was, it was kind of rough looking, but for $9 in part of the load, it was an awesome deal. So I got caught up a little bit yesterday, and I took it apart. Actually, 2 days ago, I got caught up. I took it apart. I had to epoxy some of the posts in here where the screws went in because they had broken, but that all held together perfectly, except for one. I have to redo one. And before anybody asks, the tape deck does not work. There's 2 belts in it. They've disintegrated. I've got the belts on order, so I plan to do that probably in a live stream coming up.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Okay, that you've got them ordered. How much were the belts?
$20 shipped.
All right, sure. That's pretty regular.
So this thing, though, it just, like, it cleaned up so nicely. It had this gross funk on it that I was scrubbing, like, in all these little crevices, because I was like, I'm really going to clean this guy up. And I opened it and cleaned all the buttons. And, so what were you going to ask?
Yeah, you really pulled it apart, didn't you? You had the whole thing open.
Yeah, you had to take it apart.
Every little bit there. So what's on the other end, Steve? What are those jacks on the other end? Turn it around.
All right, let me show you some more. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you look here, this is left and right audio in and out right there.
Oh, that's so good.
Right.
So left and right. That instantly
I know,
makes
isn't that awesome?
a boombox. Like, to me, like, I see boomboxes all the time. I see modern ones. I saw an awesome Sony boombox, kind of modern era one at the thrift store the other day. $8, but no line in.
Yeah.
So without a line in, and if the tape doesn't work, I mean, I guess if the tape doesn't work, I'd have to open it up, like you say, repair the belt, and then you could use a Bluetooth cassette adapter. And that, apparently they go pretty good, so that might be okay. But without a line in, it's hard to justify them to have all this collection of boomboxes. So if you've got a line in, that's tremendous.
Yeah, so it definitely has that, which is great. And then it has FM, of course, radio here. You know, it's got a great radio that, if you go to the other side, let's just go to the other side. It's got of course, a tuning knob, and it actually has a little tiny knob for tuning it better, but that's only if you're using AM. So it has an FM radio, and then it has AM, and then you can go shortwave and even shorter wave and whatever. Medium wave, which I don't have any idea about that, but so there's that. It's got. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you get the aerial from some other set? Did you rip that off something else?
The antenna.
The antenna.
Yes,
yeah,
I got it off a more modern set where all I had to do was unscrew the screw on there, and the screw actually fit right in this one. So all I had to do was popped a new one in there, and it fits perfectly, salvaged from another set right there.
Love it.
So again, after I cleaned up, that was the last touch, and it helps it immensely. The sound on this thing is like Bose level quality, unbelievable, like these speakers. But it's got some cool tuning knobs. Volume gets super high. It's got like a stereo mode. It does have a couple of tape switches if you have like a metal tape or something. So I'm interested.
Really? Oh, that's great. Yeah, sure.
And then it does have a battery compartment with the door on there, and it's clean. You could actually use like Type C batteries or something right in there, and just take it with you still out in public, But it's just got such a great looks. The size is perfect. If I get this thing working, it'll actually be such a beautiful piece of hardware. This is up, looks great with the little handle. But this thing was awesome, completely covered in no joke.
What year do you reckon that is? What year do you reckon approximately?
It's I think it's 1984 or 5 from what 80s. I had. Yeah.
Mid-80s. Oh.
There was a sticker on the inside of it, I believe, that said that. Maybe it says it over here.
Awesome. I think for my money, boomboxes are the console speakers that I use, both here at home and in the office. I've got a more modern Sony boombox, but I use them for my Mister and for the BVM, because the BVM doesn't have speakers. So I'm using a Sony boombox on that, and in the office on my little MacBook, I've got a Sony boombox as well. So that's awesome that it's got the inputs and the classic 80s Japanese style. I mean, it looks like, you should be in New York City dissing
like in the subway dancing.
Yeah, bro.
Well, hey, here's the thing about it: the speakers are unbelievably well shielded. Everybody, it doesn't do anything to a CRT when you set it right on top. Like I just set it right on top of there, and just so you know, I mean, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you another thing. It's actually I'm gonna pop out here. Look at this. That TV you see right there, everybody. That lovely television set over there is a set that I had this set on top of, and I'm put a DVD player hooked up to it, and my son and I watched The Running Man a couple nights ago in the den on it, on the little set. And so that was just a fun experience.
That's great, man. Super authentic. So do you want to, or maybe the people in the chat can also help us out. Let's say you got the tape deck working. Let's say we get the belts, we go in, that starts working. Does anyone in the chat want to tell us how much they reckon that'd be worth?
Oh, it's tough.
Let's say professionally repaired, it's looking, someone who knows electronics has been in the middle of it, tape deck is redone. Hit us up in the chat. Just interested in.
I'll tell you what I think it would be sell for,
reckon?
And I don't think people are going to probably like it, but it's going to be. I mean, it would be I think it would be a 4-figure radio. I bet you could get $1,000 for it. There's one like in the box for $1,000, but I think that, if you had it all tuned up, working perfectly, restored, cleaned up, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you take a little bit less for that, but I wouldn't be surprised to have somebody. I wouldn't be surprised to have somebody asking that for it, and. I mean, it would just be like you said. It would be one thing that, and most people are just going to go, dang, and it would just be somebody who's just super rich would just drop money to have it on their shelf. But
I guess they're much more like mainstream than even consoles are. Like the idea of the boombox and the idea of that culture from that area is much more mainstream than even a video games console was. So I remember when I was I remember going through my few trips to Japan, and very hard to find a good boombox in the secondhand store. And if it was broken and so forth. And everything people were telling me was that same thing. There's a huge demand for them. Every hip cafe in Tokyo needs a boombox on the shelf. So there was absolutely no chance of finding a boombox deal like that. So it seems that's a worldwide thing. What have we got? Tazcam Porter Studios from the 80s go for 1K service. Dang, you could make a penny on that, dude.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. I think there might be a lot of people that are maybe missing the point where there's a lot of this untapped market. If you could find this stuff and actually figure out how to fix it, you are offering a huge service, because that's going to be another couple of these items I'm going to show you. They're just a pain in the neck. I have no idea where I'm going to go to service them. So it's like these boom boxes. I will tell you too that the next auction I'm looking at has a Sanyo boom box that looks like it's been sitting on a shelf in the guest house, is what it says. So it's not been touched, and it's about the same size. I don't believe it's going to be as good as the Toshiba, but I have no idea. It's hard to really say without looking at it. But I've got one more of those in the sights, so hopefully I'll get that this week.
Looking good. Looking very good. And,
so $9.
Line out.
$9 for that one. Right. But it was ugly. And like I said, it was covered in like it's like somebody had dropped their bong water all over it, and it just like dried on it. And then I was, because I was rubbing it, with like Windex in the crevices,
wax off.
And I was like, God, this stinks. It's got brown coming all off of it. And I'm like, ugh.
I wonder, and who knows, is there, what's also certainly for you to repair it, then on-sell it, there could be a few coins in there for you to flip that. But also, is there, like, what happens when someone else finds it and they want an expert repairman?
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's always something. That's what I was thinking too. Is like I'd almost rather find somebody that I knew that was like me to just send it to them to do the tape portion of it, possibly. Because there's some things I just don't know.
They find it for $10. You fix it for $300. Yeah. I don't know. I'm making up numbers here.
Well,
they flip it for $800, and then boom, everyone's made money today. Good times.
That's like that show that used to be on. Whatever, AMC. It was like something restoration, Rick's Restoration or something. That's what he did. He'd restore stuff for people that was like refrigerators and coolers. Yeah, covered in bong water. So I thought it was something. Now, but that was the most fun for me. Like getting that, I'm so happy. I'm actually two things: that and the TV I already showed, which I'll show off in a little bit. But this thing, man, I was just so happy. I just love the absolute look of it. And so that was a lot of fun. Let's see. I've got some other things here. I didn't bring everything. I got some other stupid small items, like an antenna for $1 with HD antenna to put up on the roof, and had all these unused items because I still use an antenna to pick up local stations.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was like only $1 for it's like $300 HD antenna that you could put up with like boosters. And I took the boosters off and just used the boosters on my normal one, and it already helps. So that, some more normal things, weird stuff. I got a package of the old 3M floppy disks that were in there, and so I got those.
Are those discs hard to find?
I don't know. I just grabbed it for $1 since I was going to be buying this other stuff.
Yeah, they're not too hard to find around here, but I think I've got I've got a little collection. I probably got a 50 fresh blank 3.5-inch discs, which I'm never sure I'll never ever use again, but I got them. And I've also got an angle on my, I think I found a stash of them at my girlfriend's parents' house, like OG ones they were using back in the day. So that's like, I'll just leave them there for now. But if I need some discs, I know where to get them, you know.
Well, it's one of those things where if you get a computer and you're like, oh man, I need to test it for some reason, or a drive, it's better to just be like, oh, I know I have at least some new old stock unopened. So that's something I picked up. And I can't, there was something remember we were starting the show. It was 5.5-inch, not 3.5-inch.
Oh, okay. The big old ones.
The big ones.
Real
big ones, floppies. So that was cool. But there was something I was going to talk about, a story that, we talked about how did I get the idea for the estate sale, right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Like, how did I even get the idea for the estate sale? This goes back to the Retrotech CRT booth, the big CRT booth I had where I sold all that stuff. And Saturday was the big selling day, right? I sold everything out of everything except one CRT Saturday. So I was really happy Saturday night. I'd done my presentation, been hanging out with all the people that I got to see there. And I may have mentioned this a little bit, but we started having a good time. We went to Chili's, and it was so funny. Lebanon, Tennessee, middle of nowhere. We all were like, oh, let's get out of here and go to Chili's. So it was me, Chris, Displaced Gamers, okay, and our new best buddy, Mark, from Classic Game Room. So he came and started hanging out, and then My Life in Gaming, both them, and Corey was there with his wife and his kids. So that was the group, like all 8 of us. And we go back to the Chili's, and of course, you know me, like before this, I had already busted out the bourbon, and I was like, who wants a bourbon drink, right? So I had already had a bourbon, and I was like, let's go get dinner, and drinking beers, hanging out, talking, and then dinner's done, and everything's like right next to where the hotel is. They're staying, that like a Fairfield Marriott. So we're going back. Oh, let's go back to the hotel, and they got a little courtyard on the side of it, and we'll just drink beers there. So we go in, and I posted some pictures of it. We go into like a beer cooler and find all this beer, and go back to the lobby of the hotel, and we're partying, just having fun and making these funny pictures. And drink a beer, and all of a sudden, after about an hour and a half, Tim Kitzrow and the Pacinas, both the brothers from Mortal Kombat, you know these guys, like the guys the Pacina brothers, Daniel and Carlos, are the guys who were in the early development of Mortal Kombat. Like, they play all the characters. Like,
the actual actors.
Yes, like the guys that were in there, and like they're Raiden, Scorpion, Johnny Cage. They were all kinds of like all the male actors for the most part. They're the two, and they go on this circuit. And Tim is the guy who's the voice for NBA Jam and like 100 other video games. So they're always on the circuit of going to conventions and doing like a celebrity thing. So they come in and they're just loud, like having its time of their life, and they sit right next to us, and then we're like, hey, you guys want some beers? And so we're just sitting there like cutting up with them, and they're like, oh yeah, we were in 80s and Midway, and like Daniel's doing like this stuff. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? Like Johnny Cage is right now is like going off on these crazy stories. You got Tim right here, and then like Carlos. And these are always the guys who are like right next to us in the convention. We're like, oh man, these guys are so cool. Like they're partying, having fun. And I'm like, huh? So I'm like, oh crap, man. So of course I'm having a great time. Everybody over here is having a great time, and we're just sitting there talking with them forever. And I don't know what I even said, because I was just so hammered, right? I was like, we drank all the beer, and I'm saying something like, man, this is just awesome. I'm starting to go this cheesy thing that listens to me. I was like, this is like the best industry to be working in, because like if I do my best and you do your best and you do his best, and everybody does better and brings more to the table, it's actually a good thing, and we're not like competitively at each other's throats trying to steal from the same pot to feed us. And everybody's like, yeah, man, see, he's got it. And they were all like, oh my gosh, you know. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I'm sitting there, and then the beer's like almost out. And Mark's like, dude, the beer's almost out. Dude, the beer's almost out. Again, Mark from Classic Gamer. And I'm like, you're right, man. We cannot let this party die. Let's go get some more beer. Let's go back to the Shell station and get the beer cooler. And so we're like leaving. And like, where you going? We get some beer. We'll be back. And like, oh, okay, cool, man. Don't, you know, you want some money? And I'm like, no, man. It's like Lebanon, Tennessee. They like give you 40 beers for $10. That's okay.
I'm going to take money from Johnny Page.
That's what I said. So all of a sudden, Carlos pulls out $20, who is Raiden. It just gives me $20, and I'm like, all right, man, okay, fine, you know. And I put it in my pocket, and then like I go and we get all this, grabbing all this beer in the beer cooler, right, and walking over there to pay this girl, and she's just laughing because we're all cutting up with her. And then I'm like, Mark, I'm going to pay for the beer. He's like, no, you can't pay for the beer, you know. So I was laughing because I actually made money that night, more money because I got $20 from Carlos that I didn't have to spend. So anyway, we get back, we start really pounding into these beers, and I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I'm sitting there with Carlos Raiden on my shoulder, you know. Oh man, you know, it's like we're on a spiritual wavelength, man, like the same spiritual like experiences, you know. This is getting deep, brother, you know. We got, and I mean, it is insane, intense. Like I'm just sitting there like this, like what am I doing with my life? I was like, what is happening? And it's like, yeah, I know, man. Like, what are we doing here, brother? Like, how did we get into these cosmos? And I'm just like, what? So, I'm sitting there, and I look up, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, right? And everybody's like clearing out. I don't even have a room at this hotel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
Go on.
So thankfully, Mark from My Life in Gaming is like, hey man, they booked me with an extra bed because I've let him crash here at my house when he's come through. So they booked me with an extra bed. If you want to like crash in it, you know, you can. Here's a key. They booked me 2 king beds. You can come in here and crash. I was like, oh yes, okay, great. I got a backwards thing. You know, I'm safe. I'll be like, I don't care. Now I'm gonna stay up as late as I can with all these people. So I just hung out with them for a while, and then I tried to go. I had stuff, you know, in my car that I had left at the convention. And Chris, Displaced Gamer, wasn't really drinking, so he was driving because he lives nearby. So I was like, hey, can you take me back over to my car so I get some stuff and then come back? Well, we go over to the convention, and it's locked up like a jail. Like there's gates around everything, so I can't get any of my clothes. So thankfully it's like 5 minutes from the hotel. So I was like, let's just go back, drop me back off. I'll see you tomorrow if you come or whatever. And he's like, okay. So I go back in there, and of course everybody's in bed except for the Pasitas, Tim Kitzrow, and so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna hang out here longer. The beer's still here. And I just sat there, dude. And then this, like, I didn't know who this guy even was, came up to the table and sits down. And Carlos is like, oh man, look, it's the legend. It's the legend, Tony Daniels. And this guy is like a voice actor for Hollywood. It's 30-year voice actor. So he's in all this crazy stuff. So of course Tim knows him because Tim's a voice acting guy. They know him. And so this guy sits at the table and is telling these crazy, like, Liam Neeson stories about knowing Liam Neeson. And it's 2 a.m, and I'm drinking beer, and I'm like, what? And Carlos is just like, oh, can you believe this? You know, like the whole time to me. And I'm like, what is going on? No, and I'm like trying to look up who this guy is because I don't want to be rude. I'm just shutting up. And he's telling these incredible stories. And so I was like, oh, this is just awesome. And I just sat there till like 3 a.m. with them. And then they just, a punchline was said. And then somebody said, with that, we're going to bed. And then everybody just got up, and we all just went to bed at 3 a.m. And then I woke up feeling like I got hit by a freaking dump truck 5 hours later, wearing my same clothes, nothing to freshen up with.
So you're stumbling into the room. Mark's there. He's sleeping like, reasonable
What's up, Mark?
human being.
Yeah.
This fucking big smelly Steve rolling in. Guess what? Raided, bro. It's raided.
Oh, he was. See, that was the thing. He was there. It just Steve stayed till 3 a.m. hanging with Raiden and the boys. Johnny Cage,
it's awesome,
Raiden.
man. To meet those people, hang out with them, have a good time. That's great. You get those
Yeah.
opportunities.
So I met him. Yeah, I stayed out with him all night. So it was really funny because then the next day I had to do this whole basic. I was like, I had to wake up at 8 a.m. or wake up before then to go on this whole trip of getting an Uber ride from the hotel to the convention to get my car, and then I had to go from the car to back to my sister's house to take a shower, and then come back and work at the convention at my booth. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I got hit by a truck. But I was laughing because I knew all those other guys felt that bad too, right? So I'm like walking through the convention. I'm going, how's it going, Tim? You feel, it's like I walk around and it feels like I'm walking on hills even though everything's flat. And it's just like, so they're all laughing. Everybody's having kind of a funny time. They're just laughing. And so I sold all my stuff Sunday. It's like 2 in the afternoon. I'm like, dude, I'm getting out of here. I got a drive ahead of me. And so I'm like, I'm definitely going and say goodbye to everybody. So I go around, I tell the guys goodbye, and I was like, yeah, I sold all my stuff. And they're like, what? You sold all your stuff? And then Tim was like, where the heck do you find these things? I was like, well, a lot of people bring them to me, donate them, and then I work on them. And he's like, do you go to estate sales? And so that's the longest story to tell you about how I learned about estate sales, was that stupid 20-minute party story you just heard, everybody.
So Tim, and he reminded you that estate sales are a thing, and you went, oh, of course, I haven't been checking those things.
Yeah. And so since then, they've just been like, the algorithms of targeted advertising has thrown them to me.
Okay, so now you're seeing all the local ones.
I'm not even hurting for them. They're following on me.
It is, dude. Oh, you say things, and all of a sudden, like, shit shows up in your feed. I'm convinced the phones are listening to us. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy.
Oh, they definitely listen to us for sure. That's not even a conspiracy.
And it starts showing up there.
So, guys, hit a like, or you might have the Piscinas come and punch you in the face sometime. I don't know. Drop us a like. Drop us a like if you haven't already. What are we up to? What do you think about that story? 50 likes. Great. Wonderful.
50 likes. And the great part of this is, Steve, one day the tables will turn. One day, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years in the future, it's going to be, hey, Steve's getting some money to come to this conference. He's a guy who's been doing it for a long time. He's going to be fired up drinking. And there's going to be some younger guy there like, oh my God, it's Steve from Retro Tech. We're hanging out with my life and gaming guys. Oh my God. And some guy's going to be up all night getting plastered, listen to you spout off. It's all going to turn around.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you're probably right. And that was one of the things too that I didn't realize, but I would just go by and again, stop by their booth and talk to them. Be like, oh, have you met this guy? And they would introduce me to other people that were in high levels in like Stern Pinball. I met a guy who was like really high up on like game development, like a vice president for them level job. And just guys that they were like, oh yeah, see, we worked together in the 90s at Midway. And they're guys that have been in this kind of niche industry for 30 plus years, and now they're the old guys. And like you said, it's awesome for them to like meet you and be like, not even be like so accepting. I was like, I've never been, that's what I was telling them. I was like, I've not been in like, usually it's like every old guy in the company's like trying to bust your balls, and at the same time you feel like you're you could be screwed over by them, because that's what happens in like a bigger company, that dog eat dog kind of corporation, where it's more of I mean, I'm not saying it's always like that, but like I said, there's more of a community, I think. Sometimes
I think there's a lot
want.
of back in the day stuff. I think the industry was drastically different back then. And I can only compare to myself. Like, so I'm when I'm thinking about myself here in Estonia and the work that I've done in stand-up comedy and my buddies have done, and you know, people know who we are. Some of the guys that I've worked with and helped to mentor are now, you know, the top comedians in the country. And it's super weird for me to think that people are like, hey, you know, that guy Ari, he's famous. I'm like, what? He's a fucking idiot. Like, I've been from the beginning. And definitely also because I'm a foreigner living in this country. Now, I'm pretty switched on. I know what's happening. I don't understand Estonian, but I'm, like, pretty good at working out what's up. But nevertheless, I'm still not, like, 100% plugged in. And by design a little bit. So to know, like, how much the average person knows us and know what we does and know what these guys do. And to sort of see them now that they're, like, famous. Like, they're legit stars, and to me they're just the guys, right? The guys that we grew up with. So I think when industries begin and those things can have a different effect. So maybe, look, who knows, maybe I don't know how it is today, but definitely back in the 90s that was a much smaller community. It wasn't bazillions of dollars on AAA games. It was this real frontier atmosphere, and no doubt those guys have done it. And what I take away from this story, Steve, is credit to those guys for having a long career in showbiz. Now, I don't know if you
right, yeah, no matter what it is, like that's their longevity. There's a lot of energy around their booths. People are there all the time to see them, and they're very appreciative of that. Like, that's what they say. They're like, I don't care, because like there wasn't a lot of people at this show compared. There was a lot of other things going on in town. Weather was nice. It was Halloween. There was a lot of other things going on, so the attendance wasn't great. But they are like, we're gonna make the best of everything. So it's like you bring a high energy, you're happy, you're good to be around, and it just makes everything go better generally, and it makes people want to come back and be kind of around you. So they were throwing a lot of advice, a lot of knowledge my way. It's the same thing, and yeah, it's just one of those kind of great experiences where you never really know. Like, go to these conventions, you're always like, something's going to happen, and I can't even predict what it's going to be, right? And it's just like something like that happens, and you're just blown away. It's just like, wow, I would have never even thought of that ending up happening. And then now, another thing I had was I sat down with the Pacinas, and I was like, it's always so weird. I was like, there's always this weird, like, I've been to other conventions around you guys, and it's like this weird tension where we all are like looking up to you guys kind of in awe, and then there's a bit of like an awkwardness where we feel uncomfortable to come over and say, hey, and they're like, man, what are you doing? Why do you feel like that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, why do I feel like that? And they're like, right, brother, we're all just people. And it's like, again, I'm like, I don't know. Why do I feel like that? I was like, I went in the green room the other day, and Danny Trejo's sitting there. And it's like, hey, Danny, how you doing? It's just like, why do I feel like weird if I wanted to go and sit with him and say hello? It's like, why do I feel like that? And he's like, Carlos, like, I don't know, man. Why do you feel like that? You got to get past all that, brother. And it's again, it's just having this,
gotta get over it. Yeah.
Having this just super weird like conversation with him in the freaking Fairfield in Lebanon, Tennessee's hilarious.
Yeah, I love it that they still have this career. I think you could look at those guys, and if you wanted to be cynical, you could kind of go, well, the 90s, that was 30 years ago. What of those guys? If you wanted to be cynical, they're riding on something they did 30 years ago. Now, that's, okay, one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is it's the entertainment industry. It is one of the most brutal industries out there. And if you can make a living, if you can get by and just survive off the entertainment industry for that long, my hat's off. My hat's staying on, but my hat's off to you. Like, where it's so easy for us, I think, when we're just watching the tabloids or the Twitter or the celebrity gossip, think, oh God, that person is washed up, or that person is whatever, to think like that we don't, but to actually have a sustainable career in the entertainment industry, and to still be good with that, to still be appreciative, to still be super cool dudes, to not be burnt out by it, is really great. And I think that's the best thing, that you're still working, right? Because that's what, as artists, you want to be working. Like, artists don't want to. You think that people want to get rich and they want to sit back and sip champagne? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But I think when you're a real artist, you want to work. So love that those guys are getting
exactly.
out there
and like you said, there's plenty of things, I'm sure, over 25 years that they've been doing aside from that. But it's like you're at this point now where you're literally able to go make a living off of whatever it was during your career that was your lightning in a bottle, most well-known, followable moment, where it's like, let's face it, those kind of things are iconic. Like Mortal Kombat is iconic, and the fact that you could go meet people that were involved like them from it is kind of unique, where you can't really go and meet like the Street Fighter characters or something like that. That's not a normal kind of thing. So it's all again about being in a niche, and like I said, they're doing great where they're not just there, just to, jerk, like you say, or something. I'm sure I don't really run into that problem, but
if you want to talk about, like keeping your career going and the ups and downs, go talk to Rick Astley. Go talk to Hayden Christensen. Like, go talk to the guys who were down and then up again and then managed to still keep their career on the up and up, like who went through the downs of when people were like, yeah, whatever, and still kept it together, are still cool people. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Should we go to some chat? I know we've been going about this. Let's see. I
was going to say, yeah, you can look at the chat, but while we do that, I'm going to flip over here and I'm going to show you guys a new piece of tech here. Let me show you some part of the next bundle, and I'm going to show you this first one because it works. And let's hope the battery's still charged, because I couldn't believe it. But look at this little guy. It's the Panasonic Palm Quarter. This is what it's called. Palm Quarter.
Palm Quarter.
It is VHS-C, okay? So it's got a flip-out LCD screen here that I figured out if you use this LCD screen, the battery lasts about 5 minutes. But I'm going to flip it on here, and hopefully, let's see, we can...
Dude, that's great. VHS-C, so that smaller version of VHS.
Yeah, it might even...
And you can... Have you got one of the adapters? Because you can put that in adapter. The VHS-C.
I might have let it go. No, I don't know. I might have let it go bad already.
You can still find the adapters pretty easily. They're not too hard to find for $10.
So
and then you can play them in a regular VHS player.
Oh yeah. It's got that. It's actually gotten. Okay, so I've actually let it go.
Sure.
It didn't charge it. I'll put the battery on the charger because I got the charger right here. But I've got the. But it works. So if we could get this charged.
But also the thing with those camcorders, for Steve and for everyone else, those camcorders from that era, 90s, the batteries are done. Every single one of those camcorders have bad batteries. You just can't. Every single one you buy says, look, we don't guarantee the battery. So you've got to run it plugged in, or you need to find another battery, because those early batteries just didn't work. Or they didn't have at least any of the... Who knows, maybe our batteries today are going to die, but 30 years ago, so every time I've ever seen a camcorder from that era, the batteries are never guaranteed, and no matter how beautiful, how well maintained, how stored in a climate-controlled room, the battery will be screwed for any camcorder of that era.
Yeah, it's kind of shame that the batteries stink most of the time.
It's just how it is. Like, you just have to find another one. It's just...
So this, I'm glad it works. I love the design of this thing. It's in pretty good shape. Yeah. It's got this cool little microphone here. It's got a spotlight right here that works too. Oh, nice. And it does have the viewfinder, and I mean, it's got a lot of cool little things on it. This was part of a lot on the thing, and it's so hopefully I've got the battery on the charger. It is blinking and charging.
And do you, on the charger, is there an ability to plug it directly into power?
No, not on this one.
Okay, just through the battery, sure.
Just through the battery. Now, I do, most of the time they have
some sort of power in.
Right. But I'm not seeing it on here. Might have to buy like a dummy battery for this or something, you know?
Some of them
Oh, wait, like there is. There's a 6-volt...
Oh, good.
6-volt input right back here. I don't have a 6-volt for that
That's
size.
That's easy enough to get, though.
Right, I can come up with that. But there's 6-volt, so you don't even need the battery, because that's a good point. Because the other thing, so I bought this stupid lot. This is the thing I spent the most money on.
Oh, the camera.
$60. $60 was the camera lot.
Oh, the camera lot. So what else was in there? What tell us about the lot? Oh, look at it. April
Oops,
O'Neil
sorry.
Style, baby.
Bang, bang, bang. One of these will be right there. Yeah, look at this thing, right? This gorgeous, cool thing, right? I was hoping so bad that this bad boy, this sharp jet zoom would work, right? Because like you said, you stick just straight VHS tapes in this bad boy. And, you know, it's got the full CRT viewfinder. It's got a mic extension you can plug into here. And it actually has like this crazy, I don't know, jet zoom features and all kinds of stuff. But it's, I mean, I looked at it and I was kind of upset because there's all kinds of screws missing. Somebody's been inside it.
Okay.
But I have a power adapter, so we could try to get it turned on and see what it does. I have a power adapter that's the right pinout, size, and voltage. Try it now? Yeah, let's go try it now.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's see. We'll get this.
So in the chat, Mario asked, "Is that sharp one made in Japan?" I assume so. Do you see anything?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see where else. Let's see.
What does it say there?
Sharp Corporation. Yeah, made in Tochigi. I don't know if that's right. Japan, 1991.
Okay.
This is 91. So this is going to be one that I'm going to have to take all the way apart, I imagine.
That's going to be tricky. I mean, on one hand, could be tricky. On the other hand, sometimes the old stuff like isn't easy to take apart.
Well, there's like 100 screws in it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
dude, that's great.
Guys, let's see here. Come on now. Come on. Don't you wanna push the like button so you can get on the jet zoom camera, right? Maybe
Steve Porno.
Maybe. Ooh.
Come on, baby. Ooh. Baby. Come on.
Ooh.
Yeah, come on, baby. We're gonna make a fortune.
Oh, yeah, we could get right in there on that nice juicy Ron Jeremy brown eye right there. Zoom in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, get there. I mean, we got analog dingleberries the size of asteroids here. So
yeah, that's right.
There we go.
That's right, Bob. Bend over that horse, Bob. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's good.
All right, with all that build up, come on, baby. Just if you haven't done it already, click the like button for us. Here we go. So I'm going to plug this in. It's a 12 volt center positive input right there on the side. Okay, so just see here. We'll go back to the face camera. OnlyFans. So here's the red button. Let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, someone pointed out the lens cap's on, bro.
Oh, maybe that's the whole problem. Maybe that's the reason I can't get it to work. I don't know. Damn it. Then maybe that's why everything looks gray in here. No, I don't know. It's flashing.
Okay.
But let's see. So
wait, did you make a statement and say that was a mini CRT in that viewfinder?
I think it is.
Is it?
Oh, whoops.
No. Oh, there's a VHS in there. Steve's Porno.
It's unmarked, black spine, baby.
Did that come in it?
No, I put it in there. I cheated.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought this may be the old mate that left his
No, I know. Well, there was the tape in the smaller one. I have no idea what's on it, because that smaller, it has a tape in it. I didn't buy that one.
We gotta find that out. All right.
Here you go. Right, it pops open, but see, I don't understand. Right. So I do that, and if I'm looking through this viewfinder, maybe I can show you what it sees on here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but it's just white. That's all I see is like white flashing sometimes. It makes me wonder if there's something wrong in there.
You just see the white flash in there.
And like
see, if only we could get the 240p test suite up on that screen.
And I mean, if I'm pressing this, like this is spinning. This little.
Oh yeah, little zoom. It's jet zoom.
See, it moves.
Auto system.
See, it moves, and then if I go over here and I put it like on auto lock on, it starts making something come up here. I have no idea.
Early liquid crystal. Okay.
So reset. None of these buttons. Like the problem is, I just don't see anything. So there's got to be something going on. Let's see. Press the jet zoom mode.
Jet zoom.
Nothing. See. So.
Nothing. No, that doesn't. Okay, that's.
I mean, it's moving like on its own. It's so crazy. Look at it. I'm not doing anything. It's just.
Right, and the only. Like, there's no LCD on that. It's just the viewfinder is the only thing you've got to view.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to read the manual snuffer stuffers, right? Or figure out what's going on, because I'm just like, it's lit up. I just don't see anything.
Any video outputs? Any composite output?
Yeah, but it's not it's like in a weird pinout. So it's got a proprietary connection. Switch on top. Is there a switch on top of the handle? There's an eject button, a power button. This is zoom in and out. And then there's a record button under here. Let's see if there's a mode button I'm missing. But it's got batteries, 2 batteries that are just junk from the original thing. Display, counter, reset. I don't know if this is. It's not really doing anything. Maybe if I hold down reset for 5 minutes. I don't know. So that's like the one I was really hoping would just work. Like I'm some idiot who thought this would just work. But people bid this up to $60 with me, which is terrible. So that's what this is the big item I bought as far as like money. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I found those classic camcorders are often a money sink. I got a couple of them as well that I bought for 20, 30, 40 bucks each or something, and they kind of work, and the batteries are always off, and it's kind of fun. And I think it's only like Epos Vox has enough time to actually record shit. Everyone else, we get it for a while, and we're like, fuck it, I'm going back to my phone.
But I mean, if you like, I could probably turn around and sell that for $100 as is.
True.
On eBay,
Untested.
that's the problem.
Untested.
Is even to get into this stupid stuff would cost you twice that. But I at least got this with the other camera that does work, so I can use that for something because it fully works, and even the batteries still work, even if it's for 10 minutes. Battery's still
nice.
charging.
VHS-C is still a very usable format,
and it could be fun, right? You can still go 4x3.
That's still a fun format because then you're still able to just take it out and stick it in a VCR. Once you go up from there, mini DV, yes, all this stuff is very good, but all of a sudden then you got to stick cables in and record from the computer, and it's nice to just pull it out.
It's nice to just pull it out, you know.
Just pull out, mate.
54 likes. Come on, guys. We need some more for this poor camera. Drop us one more because we're about to move on.
Do you reckon you can find VHS-C tapes? Is that in
I don't know.
America,
I think you can. Yeah, you can still find them. Yeah, absolutely.
I noticed I've got a couple. There's nothing in Europe because of Europe. But there's still a fair amount of them in Japan. I brought back a few packets of them for my own personal use.
Yeah, there's still. I still see them. New, even.
Yeah, I got my ones new as well, still in Japan as well.
All right, so
right, what do we got?
I bought some things I didn't bring. Another radio that was a Fisher Audio, like wood grain home audio system for like $1. Again, it has a LP player in it, and I bought some LabTech speakers with some Sony speakers. Again, another $1 bundle. And
I'd just be walking around going, I'd buy that for $1.
Well, again, it's all online, so you do it online, and some stuff is being shipped because the guy had a collection of GameCube games. Games. It was like 12 GameCube games that went for $450 because they would ship it because it's easy to ship.
That's pretty easy to ship, yeah. Sure.
And so that stuff went for expensive. That was another thing. I found these really cool VCRs. Untested, they would have a manual and the remote with them, though, usually. One was a Toshiba, a Fisher VCR, and the other one was like some kind of super VCR, commercial grade. And the commercial grade one still sells if you have it working for like $200 plus on eBay. But that jumped over like $60-$70 for that one item, and I was like, I'm not buying that, and I'm not getting a bidding war. And same thing with the Fisher, which was just a normal VCR, which I found you could go buy for $50 still. It just got into a bidding frenzy and went up to $70 for some reason. And then you got to pay 15% on top of that for buyer's fee. So the next thing though I bought, I haven't even touched unwrapped yet, is this little. I thought this was funny.
Take us full screen. Let's see that.
Yeah, check this guy out, everybody. Whoops, $10. I'm going to get it right one of these days. $10. Holler at your boy. $10 TV,
Look
right?
At this.
This is.
Bring it close.
I loved that it just said like ToteVision, I guess, right? and it could. So I was like, well, it's Tate Vision, maybe. If you just imagine that's not a. I guess that's a tote. I guess that's an O. I don't know what that is. The Rising Sun, and So you've got CT5. It's like a 5-inch. I don't know. It's generic. I've never heard of this brand. But it's got composite video. It's full color, 5-inch color.
Ding, composite video on the back.
Right, 5-inch color TV.
5-inch color. Show us the back. Show us the plugs.
It's pretty
He's got
nasty.
a microwave on the chat.
Look, it's got somebody dropped all the look. There's the bong water on the back of it.
There
You
it
see
is.
it?
Frickin'
Frickin' Cheech and Chong. I found Cheech and Chong's stash of CRTs. Is what I found.
Video, audio.
Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
unwrap this. Let's see what happens.
Do
Right?
it. Let's unwrap it like an old condom, Steve. Come on.
Yeah, guys, come on.
Who knows?
Da-da-da-da-da. Who says you don't see any dirty stuff here? We're really.
CRTs theoretically should go way up in value, right? At least until someone starts making them again. 9.6 Cupcake, no one will ever make new tubes again.
You should go.
There will
Yeah.
no tubes.
You should go
being
watch this.
Never.
Oh, this is a ghetto looking, bad looking adapter here. I'm going to show you this in a second. But you should go watch like how it's made video of CRTs, because I talked to the guy who came and picked up his 1351Q. Where he was like, oh, I was watching how it's made on CRTs, and he said even when they were doing it in the 80s and 90s, it was such a hands-on process where there was half a dozen workers over there doing stuff with the machines, watching this glass tube being blown that had to be perfect. Couldn't have a hair, freaking couldn't have a Beatles freaking ass hair fall in there, or it would screw the whole thing up. And I said, the thing that people don't understand is even if you fired those factories back up, how would we train 30 years of professional knowledge into people this doesn't happen anymore. You would never get those. You never get those people there back. So that's
196
This
Cupcake.
thing smells
go-
like like a fucking ass. I'm telling you. I'm sorry for the
People can
language.
also go back and watch the podcast on my channel on Zez Retro that Steve and I did talking about the new CRTs that are coming from China. And we did some investigations into. You can go to AliExpress and to Alibaba, not AliExpress, the wholesale version, Alibaba. There are people claiming to sell new CRTs. We did investigations. I've got my friend Ivory, Retro Castle, who's in China. We also spoke to Barry from Sydney, who ordered a couple of them. And what we determined was that they're all using secondhand tubes. They were really the very cheap construction meant for cheap markets. Not at all something you want to use for retro gaming.
Not at all.
So maybe and possibly it's because the Chinese government, you have to pay to get rid of this stuff now. So the Chinese government might be paying them to take these tubes, so they're trying to make something out of them.
Yeah.
So and that's using a second-hand tube, let alone a tube, and as Steve says, let alone a high-end tube like you might wanna.
You're gonna be better off just buying or finding the ones that are available on the street still. Gosh, this thing smells terrible. I can't believe I'm sniffing it. I'm gonna get like gonorrhea in my nose, Lewis.
What is the smell? Is it smoke?
No, it's more like that fried fish capacitor stuff. So let's see what we've got here on this little guy, so I can make sure I'm doing things right.
Okay.
Okay, this thing's just.
It'll pop out.
Yeah, let's see if there's anything. It's got like a battery compartment under it, believe it or not. It looks like.
Is there any battery in it?
I don't know. I can't get that open.
Good sign.
Yep. But it does have a cool little kickstand, tiny kickstand. All right, let's go full face. It's got a little kickstand, got some speakers on the side. Just looks like one speaker. In and out for audio and video. Oh, the audio in is a damn not regular. It's the 3.5 millimeter jack for some reason.
Oh, interesting.
So I know, right?
Not RCA's. Okay.
So,
And probably mono.
man.
Too.
God
You're gonna have to
bless.
You're gonna have to decontaminate after this.
Ugh.
So what are we gonna do? You gotta plug the power
Yeah,
adapter
yeah.
in.
Look at this adapter. Look at this scary adapter. What is this? It's like got a green.
What's that button on the top?
I
What does
know,
that do?
right? Protector push reset. It looks like it's melted some. It's from Archer. Maybe it came with this. It
how many
says
volts is that?
12 volt DC, which is, this says 13 volt DC, so it's probably not the same one. Let's make sure the barrel is the right way. Negative, center positive. Is this center? Doesn't say center positive or negative. Let's see. Does that even fit in there? It does. Oh, baby. You like that?
Let's do it.
You like that? You like that? Welcome to Monday, right?
Yeah!
Monday! Hello! Are you alive out there? Because it's Monday. Now let's be safe, okay? Let's let the crowd get warmed up here. I'm going to take my multimeter out and I'll check to find out if this is center positive or not. I'm sure it is, right? Let's hope.
Good boy, Steve. Good
Hey,
boy.
who's to say we don't do smart things sometimes,
I
right?
certainly would not have done any of that. I would have let it blow up. So good on you.
And it might still blow up. It doesn't. Who knows? It might. The power supply might still blow up. So we've got it in DC mode. Got her in DC mode here. Let's go back here. We'll show everybody this. Since we'll show. I can actually put my fancy meter up here.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
So let's see. It says we need the center to be. I think it says positive. Now I can't see it. Like my old man eyes. I thought I had good vision. Now I've got like geezer eyes. Sorry. Huh? My bifocals. All right. We got. Gosh, that's hard to see. Center positive. Center positive. Sorry about that, folks. Center positive. Let me turn that off. Okay. Center positive. So let's go and put our red in the center. Oh, here's some more insertion for you.
Oh, look at that, baby. What do we got on the screen? We got nothing.
Ooh, Jesse, let's light it up. Oh,
light it up.
We're not at all doing center positive, are we?
No. Okay, so that's not center. Is that okay?
Look at this.
That's what that
Good
means.
thing we didn't
Nothing's
just plug it in, right?
Not. Oh, 12. So it's center negative.
But, ooh, it's center negative. What? But look, there's an adapter on it though.
Ah, yeah. What's up?
So it's
No,
got. Fuck me. So it is a center, right? Now I have ToteVision, right? So the center would have to be red for it to be center positive.
Right.
And that's giving me. Oh wait. No.
Oh, there it is. So it is.
No wait.
It kind of flashes on and then off.
Don't lick it. Thanks, Dell. No, see, it's going there.
You see, like it
I
never
know.
holds it consistently on the reading. I say plug it in.
Let's well, hang
enough
on.
of it.
The other power supply that I was using for the camera is like the same rating, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So
All
we
right,
could
let's
probably
test
just use it. It's right here. I think this is.
Snuffer say
This is center positive.
He's got a local auction in 10 hours for a KV13M10 for 10. Nobody's bid on. So Snuffer, how much would you reckon you get that for? Like $5, $10? Is that what does no bid mean? And can you pick it up? Is it close to you? How long would you have to drive to go and get that?
Yeah, my stuff's going for like, it starts at like $1. Now the one CRT I found that it is desirable, it's the space helmet, the CRT. It's pretty rare, and it's I mean that's, I don't know, that's kind of a loose little idea. Ah, fuck it, Lewis. Let's see. I don't know that this is. It's got a Degas button back here.
Okay, that's all right. That's something.
All right, we're gonna do it, folks. We got 12 volts. Center positive. We'll try this one first. It's gonna be, what's the worst that could happen? It just fries me.
Yeah, exactly.
People really
least
like.
we'll get a good-
People like that when they saw me blow, like almost shock myself on that other CRT. No, that's too loose. So I mean, you know what? They did show it working in the auction. So let's just try that. Surely they sent me with the same. I just think that one's too loose. Let's see. No.
Yes, snuffer. I would say for
Hot dog.
minimal amount, it's in your city. That's worth picking up, especially because it's 13-inch. So you could just stick it in the back of your car, in the back of an Uber or whatever.
I want to know
Definitely.
how those Quakers got it on for the picture. Right? Did they find a picture of it working? Because they
So you
had
got
it.
nothing.
I got nothing. No.
You got no. Okay. That power. That also that adapter might be dodgy. Have you got anything else that's 12 volt hanging around there? Nothing.
No, I'm not hearing anything. Hang on. Oh, see, you can switch this tip around to go either way. Oh, that is interesting. That is weird. So you could swap the tip around on it. Maybe I blew it up by just doing it the backwards way. That's nice. So let's see.
What does it say? We can't see it.
I know. Here. Sorry. So right now, it says centers.
Minus 12?
Is that what it says?
This is a minus. Oh wait.
It's 12 volts DC, right? So if I switch that, it shouldn't say anything. Ha, freaking A.
Wait, but that says 12 positive, so it's sending negative. Wait, the black is the negative, right?
Yeah.
So this will say minus 12, which means it's the isn't that how it works? I don't know.
We don't know anything. Let's see.
I'm making up things.
That says minus 12.
Minus 12.
Let's flip it around and see what it says now. It says 12. Center.
12. Try that. Try that.
Okay. Nothing.
Nothing. Huh. Okay.
Dadgummit.
This set might need a little bit more work then.
I know, it's barely... I was hoping it would at least still power on. That's why I bought it. Oh, maybe... No, that's not going to make any difference. Still power on. I know, right? Man.
Hey, it looks good. It looked good on the shelf.
Garbage. Utter garbage. I do have another power supply. Let me go see what it is.
Okay, we'll try it just on the off chance
Yeah.
that the house lies a bit up and down. This is how the CRT world goes, people. You never know what you're gonna get, especially when you're paying not much for it. Yeah, so good. They're looking here at the OLED burning. I don't know how they're gonna deal with that situation. And yeah, I think Mike Chi and some of this work that he's doing with the Retro Team 4K, I don't know. It's like there's the look, and then I might even say there's the feel. It's the feel of the radiation coming off the CRT. That's something the flat panel will never be able to emulate. Garbage. Steve's not giving up. Don't worry.
It's not a good power supply. Or the other one's not. I mean, the power supply is fine that I've got because it's actually putting out voltage. It's not... It's not reacting to it. The CRT isn't.
Okay.
Well, the good news is I have one that does work. Oh, well.
What, the set or the what? What do you got the work?
So that one's...
It's a bit of a bust.
Again, I only paid $10 for that.
Okay. But yeah, it could just be as Kevin says in the chat.
Well,
could
the
be
weird
fuse.
thing is it shouldn't have a fuse. It should just be running straight off the 12 volt
Okay.
power that's coming from the supply. So I don't know. It does, like I said, it smelled like rotten capacitors. So it could be that.
So, but you saw some picture that showed it showing an image.
What? Yeah, I got a
You said
picture
that
that showed it working when I got it. Because I was hoping. That's the only reason I was like, yeah, I'll buy it because it's had a picture. Both of them had pictures working. So that's one. Let me go get the other one here,
Don't feel bad.
which is
You'll be right. Okay.
this lovely one.
So we got another CRT. We're 0 for 1 today, but there's always another CRT to live. Steve seemed a bit bummed about that one. We've got to cheer him up when he comes back, all right? Like, it's okay, Steve. The CRTs will live on. You'll be all right. Yes, Senely Deluxe. That's right. That feeling of cancer traveling across the room into your eyeballs. It's the feeling, right? It's all the good things that we had when we were kids. Now it's everyone with their flat screens. Flat screens don't give you cancer. What's the use?
I'm here putting together.
It's quite an impressive. Steve's got that tube there. He's got a yoke. He's got the watch. He's got the 2 RF converters. Chrono Trigger, is it? Sitting on the shelf there. I'm actually, I made a note seeing Steve's. I can't put a bookshelf so close to me, but I'm gonna, on this bookshelf that's just here, I'm gonna stick a couple of little 8 inches. I've got 1 or 2 here in my closet. I've got a storage room, which is downtown. But I could stick 2 of them there, and then I would run the, no, wait, not that way. And then I'd run the output from that BVM. So I could send the out of that BVM into 2 smaller 8 inches, which would be sitting up on that shelf. I think it'd make that look a little better. But right now, it sort of looks a little darky dark right there.
All right, I'm gonna try to set up something cool as we talk. Let me see if I can maybe aim this a little bit more this way. Because here's this. This is like the a beautiful one here was this one. I'm going to set the other camera up. Hopefully give us a little better view. But this is
the one we saw on stream, or you just got this?
Huh?
Is this the one you got from the estate sale?
Yeah, this is the one. This is the best one. This was the one that I was really hoping was going to be at least color. I wasn't even sure it was color when I first saw it. Because it just had fuzz on the screen. Again, both of them were powered on in the pictures with the white fuzz. With no guarantee that they're actually working. Okay. But yeah, this one is... Here's the design. So I'm going to go get some things to set up and put a signal in here so we can see it working.
Have you tested this before?
Yeah. Yeah, I've tested it and I cleaned it up a bunch. It's got this amazing... It's like B&O style glass overlay on the screen. It's got... Like, you see how it's shiny? It's got a whole glass overlay on it. And it's just RF only.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to need some sort of original console outputting RF. What do we got there? We got the Famicom. Oh, yeah, it's the Super Famicom from the other day. You were saying, yay. So you've got the RF. Oh, because it's got RF directly out of the back?
Well, I'm just going to use this... I'll use a different one this time. This all-in-one. Okay. All-in-one, just demodulate, whatever. Same thing as the RF reflex.
Yeah, okay. But that's like an original.
It's like an old school one from Radio Shack or something.
Yeah, right.
So this is the other kind that you may see.
And it takes a composite and just outputs it on RF.
Yeah, just composite. Now, I actually saw Chris, Displaced Gamers, brought one that had S-Video also. Which I was like, whoa, that's awesome. So we go S-Video and stereo / composite. Just flip this around here.
Turn it around here.
And you can see
who's the manufacturer of
there's
this
nothing else back here. There's a V-hold adjustment. I haven't opened this one yet.
Sure. Who made this set? Who's the manufacturer?
Montgomery Ward.
Okay.
Which is like a different name for the Sears Corporation. Oh. Montgomery Ward from Chicago, Illinois. It says. So this is I'm gonna plug in the signal, and it does have it has some beautiful like accents to it. For example, I really like the color and it's not faded or anything. It's almost like the silverish goldish, but it has these good. PVM style handles, black at the bottom, and I think it's from 1980, 85. when I found
Zenali is pointing out in the chat that it looks like the old Commodore monitor.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Kind of
You
got
can
that
see,
same
but you
vibe
see how
going
it's
on.
reflecting. Yeah, that glass.
So Montward, Logan Jones says Montward did not make TVs as a rebadge. Probably, certainly, that was a pretty much of a thing going on there.
Yeah, I mean, probably. It's definite. It's like I was plugged it up to the Sears version of the Atari 2600 because it's like, oh well, you could see that in a Sears store maybe in 1985 or something. But the Sears, they didn't make any of that stuff. So they didn't make
that RF
2600.
adapter.
I don't
does it
know. Like I said, I haven't opened it yet. We'll see.
Does it need power?
Yeah, I'm gonna power it on.
Okay, but that RF adapter, it has its own power source?
Yeah, it's powered.
Okay. Logan says made by Orion. Yeah, sounds about right.
It's possible. We'll have to see when we open it up. I got the manuals too. Maybe I'll bring those over, and we'll see what it says in there. Could be right. Who knows? Here we go. Okay, that's not got power. I need to get power to the Famicom. Oh, that's on the floor. Of course, right there.
There we go.
So here we go.
Accents.
Here we go. That's right.
Okay, the Fami's got power, the RF's got power, the Montgomery Ward, Montgomery Burns, Orion has power. Everything's got power. Got RFX Pack Pro in there, or whatever it was back then.
It's about ready. Got power there. So now,
Little red light on the
love
Famicom.
this little. Ooh.
Ooh. Look at those buttons.
Oh, there we go. We're coming to life now, folks.
Is it taking a moment to like warm up a little bit? Yeah, is it?
Yeah, it does. Takes
Or
a
is it just the
second.
camera? Kind of hard to tell.
Both. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, the desk camera. Let's see if we can get the desk camera.
Logan Jones, he says he's written a 1,000-page guide to CRTs. What is this guide? Tell us about that. Why did you write such a guide? Where is it? How did that? That's very interesting. Tell us a little bit more about the backstory of that. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Well, you can't drop it. Can't drop it, but you can tag us on Twitter to your guide.
Sure, or tell just the story.
Yeah.
How come? Who for?
There we go. So that's it. Let me. That's pretty much everything. I know it's kind of bright. I can. It's just so mechanical. You pop this.
Logan,
pop the buttons just off.
Link us on Twitter. Find me or Steve on Twitter.
So if I turn that down.
And
It'll be a little
link it
better.
to us on Twitter because you can't send URLs. We would love to read that and see
There we
what
go.
information you collected.
So that's
okay,
pretty
so
good.
that whole panel comes off and then
Yeah,
and
just pops
buttons
off.
underneath.
It's just mechanical buttons for RF pick,
for the channels.
for
Okay.
channels, right? And then you can you can't post the link. Sorry, Logan. YouTube won't let you. You have to send it on
Send
something
it on,
else.
on Twitter, like
Yeah.
that says, or Retro USA Retro.
Yeah.
Find us there.
So it's got.
Okay.
Anyway, it works pretty well. Thankfully, compared to everything else so far, it looks pretty good. Let me get the controller and I'll put it on something so we can see it.
let's
And
bring up
maybe I'll
some
zoom in a little bit
240.
and we'll
Pete,
adjust the
sweet.
camera settings a touch and make sure that we got all that good stuff going on. But this was the one that I wanted, right? This was.
Yeah, sure.
I was gonna be really, really hurt if it was not.
And the big
working.
question is, though, Steve, how much did you pay for this?
Sorry, what?
How much did you pay for this?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, here's the big. Not as much as the cameras, that's for sure. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's all right.
Here we go. All right, got it going there. We got it going there. That's good. Yeah, so I paid $20 for it.
$20.
$20. Geometry's pretty good. You can already tell on the side. It doesn't look like
Sure,
bad.
that line's looking
No,
nice
I
down
do
there.
think it's going to need a recap eventually. But just to put something on there, this tends to show pretty good. turn that
Nintendo.
off there.
Okay, Super Metroid.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Turn that light off there.
How do you feel, Steve, about the quality of the RF? Because we know that good RF is basically composite. You know, like they're very, very close, good RF. How do you feel like that's...
So let's go back here, and I'll come back in the screen with you a little bit, and we'll do a little chat. But yeah, this was... So I did actually try the, like I said, the Atari, and posted some videos of that. Hey, James. Welcome in, Professor Whom. Anyway, I did use the Atari, and that didn't look, there was a lot more grain in the video. But when I use these little devices, it looks just as good as, composite. It looks as good as it can. And it looks very nice. Like, if I set this up in my booth at Retro whatever anything, I wouldn't have any problem selling something like this. But I don't want to sell this, but that's the truth. This would, even just an RF set in a place like that, somebody would buy it.
How much is, actually, just you've sparked my curiosity by that one, Steve. How much is Mr. Add-ons selling the Reflex RF adapter for?
If it's a $35 device right now, I know it was originally 40 and then it was marked down to 35. You can definitely see a bit more snow on the, but I mean, it's not like it's like interference. I don't think. I think it actually gives it a little bit more character. I just love it. It doesn't look bad or anything.
Because the only thing that came to my mind, Steve, was that, I mean, you spoke that you could even shift it if it was RF. But I reckon you could, let's say, increase the price by more than $35.
Yeah.
If you sold it with an RF, with a reflex adapter.
Definitely.
Said, hey, this top quality adapter. This is how you're going to get composite into it. It would add value to your sale if you put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that. Well, eventually I'm going to go through when I have more time and do a restoration on these. These are the ones that I know that, it's like, what are you into? What are you into? These ones are the ones that I'm finding myself more drawn to. It's like that whole bell curve of going. Let me try that other camera light. It's like that whole bell curve of going full PVM to full backwards just to RF.
All the way.
Like you're like always going backwards. Like you thought you were just interested in scan lines on a CRT and a PVM to begin with, and now it's all about just trying to get RF on these really old ones. I love it. So
that looks really nice. It looks beautiful. It's very authentic. The picture, so I mean, it's a little hard to tell with the camera. It's sort of just a webcam camera, so it looks good. Like you're very happy.
Yeah. It's not
good for RF,
especially since I've not done anything to it yet. I think if I tune it up, it'll be great.
Do you want to? Is it possible, Steve, at all, just to quickly fire up 240p test suite? Can we see a grid and just check out basic geometry?
Absolutely. So let's go.
It's a little hard for us to see on the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the monoscope, which should at least be somewhat more visible. I'm gonna turn it down.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let me do that. Let me turn that camera around, or that ring light around. Get it off the screen. So that's not bad. I mean, it's
not bad at all.
Look, it's pretty good aspect ratio. It doesn't have like glaring wonkiness or anything. Looks pretty good. I mean, how about that?
Straight lines,
right?
I'm seeing there. That looks really good.
Yeah, and it's even centered. It's not like it's just. It's so. Let's see. I mean, linearity.
Yeah.
If we go to the color bars,
it's
definitely fine. The colors doesn't look bad on it. It's just not. Yeah, it probably could go up on the drives a little bit. Or probably just see my green's a little bit low. But yeah, it's got overscan on it a little bit. It's not terrible.
Man.
I think that I think if you consider all things considered, that most of the stuff that you're going to have on your screen at this point for 1980s stuff, that calibration is you're never gonna have a problem. Like nobody would have complained about that back in 1980 whatever.
I'm not complaining about it in the year 2023. It looks good, and like for that set, for a set from that years old that I got from a yard sale that hasn't even been that yet. That's a awesome starting spot. So there's another one. So Steve, now we're getting to this philosophical talk. You got to start flipping sets, my friend. Do you think you're going to be able to sentimentally let this one go at some stage?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. No way. It's too nice. It's in great shape. It's got all the pieces. I want to restore. This is the kind of thing that I want to have in the museum or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe a museum one day. Just because it's such a good example, right? It doesn't have to be the fact that this is like some special television. It's really probably not. Like Logan is saying, I'm sure it is a rebrand of whoever was making them all. Orion, I have no reason to disbelieve that at all. So it's like Orion they just make a different shell, and the thing is just this one's such a good period timepiece. It could literally be restored and like used in a movie that's supposed to be set in 1986, and you need to have a TV in the shot in somebody's house or something, some bedroom. You look at this and say, okay, this is what you need. This is what this needs to be at this point. It needs to be something like that, or I'll be able to really enjoy it. I don't mind firing these up and watching movies on them either. I think that's a really cool thing to do.
I think so too. You were talking about how this wouldn't look out of place in a movie. And speaking of that, so the Swedish bloke who was on the last chat, on the last stream,
right,
and he was talking about that he was renting out CRT. So I got in contact with him.
Okay.
We're going to have a call soon. So he's got a couple of pro sets. I don't know how many. I think a handful. I'm not entirely sure. And he's already getting some few jobs, renting them out for film shoots, for productions that need them. Here's some cool music video that needs an authentic screen. So two things we're going to do. I'm going to just have a chat with him. First of all, I want to have a podcast with him. I just want to hear this story. This is a cool story about what he was doing. But secondly, we're going to have a little chat about how could we make a small collaboration between him and me? Because here in Estonia, I know all the production companies, I know all the event companies, I know everyone in film production who may possibly ever want one of these. I've got a few sets of my own, both consumer and professional. And so there's a possibility that I can approach them and say, look, if you need this, if you need something kind of cheap, I can provide you with a few sets I have. If you need something larger, different, 25 or something like that, then we can get them ground shipped from Sweden, and it is possible to ground via ferry shipping to make it safe and achievable if they really, really need that. So yeah, we're gonna start talking about that. Like,
very smart.
Why not? I can super easy reach out to those companies. They're used to me talking to them all the time about stuff and just say, hey, if you ever need this stuff, I got TV sets. Let me know.
Yeah. Logan was asking about the model number, which I put in the chat because it is the most forgettable model number you'll ever see in your life. I can't ever remember it. I have to look at it 3 or 4 times. It's like an inmate number, JSS 12355. Please step forward. It's like, what an awful model number for a TV. It's like, what'd you say? How could you ever remember that? It's like Xbox about as bad as that.
There's not even a dash in it.
No, it's like 12, that's all it says, and it's just there's not a lot of information on it.
It's the G's 12.
Let me see. I actually got a paper brochure that had some document. I don't think it's all the documents. Let me get with that.
While you're doing that, I'll talk about 196 Cupcake was making a reference to wanting to watch Star Wars on the CRT, and I have a bit of a dilemma trying to watch Star Wars on this BVM here. Now, up to the BVM, I've got a VHS player and I've got a DVD player up there. And what I've got to watch Star Wars on is these VHSs, but this is the special edition. And I've got it on DVD, which is obviously another special edition. And what I've been enjoying, and I've been rewatching the original trilogy. There are like dudes on the internet have put out versions, like versions of the original trilogy that are cut like the original, like someone de-specialized it. And you can go to Pirate Bay right now, and you can download the de-specialized version of the original trilogy, and it's got like all the special effects are removed to the best of their ability, where like Lucas put some crazy shit in, like Jabba is out of the first one and the special effects are out, and he's taken frames and scenes and kind of spliced everything together, and it looks great and it looks really good. And I watched it on the 4K set out in the lounge room because it came as a MP4 file. So I guess the only thing I probably could do to get the most authentic experience would be, I don't know, I guess hook up the PS3 to this BVM here, and then maybe I could play it through that output onto the CRT and then watch the non-special edition on there. And conveniently, Steve, I have a new PS3 these days because I got fucking scammed.
Yeah.
Now I have a
Does
shitty
it work?
PS3. But nothing. I haven't tested it. It's
Oh,
sitting there.
that's hilarious.
It's sitting there on the other side. It's one of my. It's coming up in the next few days. My girlfriend and I are going to
That's
London
hilarious.
for 5 days. So
That's cool.
We're going on like a long weekender, so I might not get time to check it. But
Look
soon.
at this. Look at this.
What have we got?
Look at this
What have we
thing. I mean, this is wild. Sorry, I'm going to put a face, but this is like a dossier file from. It says. I got it upside down there, but
Is
it's
it posted?
Yeah, it's posted. It says this is from, and this has the model number up here, July of 1985. So that's the And then it was first class sent mail though, posted on like 87. So it was sent after that, and it's got a stamp down here where it's packed by, and then it has a name on it. You can barely read. It says like K Denario or something. Like a thing. It says Montgomery Ward.
And Rush. It has a big Rush on the back, so it's like someone got this
it's
TV.
from the Repair Parts Center, so I don't know what it was. And it says to the person that I bought this auction from, it's so crazy. The last name of this guy was Innocent. Innocent. Can you believe that? It's so joke. It says like and he never put like he always put his first name or like his first name before his last name. So it says Innocent Gregory on here. Shipped to Innocent Gregory. Oh, Gregory, so
God.
innocent.
You know that kid
Says
got beaten up in
Rush.
school.
Says
He
my
got beaten up in
Rush.
school. Innocent. Come in, innocent Gregory.
So this is what I mean, though. You never know what you're getting with this crap because it's like this is it's from the Tandy Corporation Radio Shack speaker for a realistic speaker from 1989. Just some random ass document for it.
Okay, nothing.
Right?
To do.
Not anything to do with the TV. Let's see what this little slip says. It's just another mailing slip with his name on it. Let's see what this. Oh, see, look at this garbage. We've got the user and owner manual for the LXI stereo. Right? This is
Pretty
nothing.
legit.
I mean,
Nothing related. Still pretty
it's
cool.
cool, but it's not the right item. Not at all. So, we have anything? No, this is the speakers again, a warranty for them. Now, this I know is with the television, and this is what I think he got sent. Like, they forgot to send him this, which is a punch-out button overlay. Okay? And it's just a bunch of random-ass numbers for UHF and VHF because you can pull out this.
And you put it on that.
Yeah, you can, like, pull this out.
Oh, shoot.
And snap in the channel, and it's just an LED light that lights up.
Behind it, that's
Right, so
awesome.
that's how
Dude,
you
that's the next
change-
video right there.
That's how
great.
you change what your channel listing is in the old school days, right? Because if you didn't have the same channels, but it's obviously never been used, right? There's not a single, it's just a couple falling out, never been opened, and that's the only thing of relevance. Let's see if there's anything else. More documentation. A really poor old antenna. I don't know if this came with it or not. This would have
So is
had
it-
some kind of parts in it. I don't know what's in this because it's missing. So maybe that's
Such
what's.
an odd collection. Do you think all of this came in that original envelope from the repair place?
And like this, here you go. Here's something for a video cassette.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. I'm getting the wrong one here. More of the little VHS tape. I got some stickers for it, I guess. Right? I got a couple sets of stickers for the tapes. So yeah, it's just like weird stuff that was thrown in an envelope and was included with the sale.
Nothing to do with the TV.
Nothing really.
Besides the little numbers that go in there.
Yeah, so that's it.
Huh.
That's the haul for the most part. Everything. The two best items is this television and the radio, which is kind of disappointing to think you pay that much money at the end of the day for all that hour. I paid $135 plus gas.
Sure, plus your gas. But go sell that boombox.
Yeah, I guess.
It all back, brother.
So that when I start to think about it,
collecting stuff, Steve, you gotta stop collecting things and sell them. Oh, didn't make any money because you didn't sell nothing.
Wonderful. What a great economic plan we've had here. All right, guys. All right, I've run out of time. 2:20. 2:20 is the stopwatch time, and that's what time it is here.
All right, you got to do
everybody.
It.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got to. I've got kids banging on the ceiling, and it's no school today, so that was lovely of them to decide that. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't already, please do us a favor, hit the like button on the way out. You can go back and watch the show if you've missed anything to this point. We've gone through some cool stuff. I want to say thank you to my buddy Zez for joining me today, as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it, buddy. Anytime, as I said, if we've got some free time, we're going to do a little stream in the evening. I love talking, man. I love chatting. I don't care where we're at. I love chatting.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for dropping in. There definitely will be a live show Thursday. At least there's planned, and unless something happens to me. So I will see you all at the latest on Thursday. But other than that, if you want something in between, then go jump onto the most hated platform on social media, Twitter. Okay, I'm posting on there every day, every 5 minutes, basically, because that's the reason I had to finally go and join the Blue, because it kept stopping me from posting. And so
what
or Blue, whatever, verified.
Oh, Blue Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, you're paying for verified now. Is it?
Yes.
I didn't even notice.
Yes, I did. I verified my account, and the reason being because I wanted to get it. I wanted a place to post more small stuff. It's easy. Twitter seems to be getting some traction for me and my account on there. So I thought, hey, at the end of the day, guys, it's a business expense. It's like $80. So, all right. Yeah, we'll check out that guide some more and have some more chat about that soon.
Yeah,
and guess what?
I just posted it here. Yeah.
Lewis and I are going to have to do a special interview with the guy who gave me the TV. He's reached back out, Legend Howard. So we're going to get that lined up. We might do that one off live and do like a podcast style with
let's
Howard.
go proper.
That would probably be better. That'd be more fun
right?
to go through the TV and talk about it and stuff and his perspective. So, all right, guys. Yeah. Thanks again. You all have a wonderful day. I'll see you Thursday. I hope the rest of your Monday goes awesome. Drop a like on the way out, and I'll